as the Indy 500 begins outside my apartment. Anyways, let's start this video. This is the album review. I never do album reviews, but I was thinking to myself the other day, this band album popped up on my screen on Spotify, and I'm like, it's time. It's time I do an album review again. And I thought, why not do a better album review than what I did in the past? Let's do a track by track album review. Let's do it. And I might even redo the Shinedown one because this might be better. So let's talk about Damageplan album, Newfound Power. Now, a little spoiler, this was their only album. And I haven't talked about Damageplan on this channel at all, and I think some of the bands that only had one album, I may just do this instead. And there's quite a bit that I know of that only had like one album, or is not very popular and only had like two albums. And if I fart during this video, I apologize. Because I have very bad gas right now, evidently. Sorry. But Pat Lockman is the singer. Dimebag Darrell was on guitar. Vinnie Paul was on the drums. Bobzilla. Don't ask me what his real name is. I have no idea, but they called him Bobzilla. But this was a great band, and this was ended because some lunatic that surprisingly kind of looks like me, I think. Don't look too much into it. I wouldn't kill nobody. That's kind of crazy talking. But anyways, he kind of did look like me. Kind of, I think. Kind of crazy. Okay. But anyway, I didn't kill him. He's not my brother either. We're not related. He lives in, I think, Ohio. It happened. That was crazy. It was like really not that far away. He killed Dimebag because he thought that he caused Pantera to break up. The greatest guitar player probably in our generation, and they killed him because a guy thought he broke up Pantera. One of the greatest metal bands probably ever, in my opinion. I know a lot of people think other bands are the greatest, but I think Pantera is pretty hard to beat. Anyways, with that being said, this was a great album, and it's something you should check out. If you haven't checked out Damageplan, if you've never heard their only album they came out with, Pat Lockman went on to have another band, which they sound really good, but nobody really got to know Pat Lockman. If they were to release a couple more albums, and then he would have went into another band. It would have been different. But this band, before it got started, it kind of ended. And Pat Lockman really didn't get the press and respect that he deserved. And that's probably didn't want to talk about Damageplan much more, and didn't want to tour, and didn't want to get another guitarist. I mean, Zakk Wylde probably could have stepped in and played with them in Damageplan, to be honest, because Zakk is probably the only guitar player that probably could do it. And do it justice, and would get the same kind of repertoire, I guess response from the fans, because they're almost the same. I mean, that's probably bad saying, because no one can replace Dimebag. But if you were looking for one person to be the equivalent of Dimebag, it has to be Zakk Wylde. And I know it's not the same, and people would disagree with that. But I'm just saying, if anybody's going to replace him, it has to be Zakk Wylde. But anyway, we start off with the first track was called Wake Up. Not a great song, but it was an intro to Lockman's voice. Not much to say about it. It just wasn't that great. It was okay. Second track, Breathing New Life. Oh my God. The first great song, and you knew this band had something. When you heard the second song, you were like, ugh, finally, something I can say that this is great. Dimebag's involved. And this is the thing, the theme through this album, and going in the back of my head, is you can tell that Dimebag is playing this because it really did sound like Pantera, and I think Dimebag was the essential sound of Pantera. He made that sound that you know about Pantera, and this band had that sound throughout this album. So kind of, it was like Pat Lockman stepping in to be the singer for Pantera, to be quite honest, and it was Damageplan. Let's be honest, I think Rex Brown, the bassist for Pantera, probably pretty replaceable. I mean, it's the bass player. Bass players usually are not that important, to be quite honest. I mean, it's not a hard job unless it's something to add something to the band, like Monkey, because he had kind of the way his style, he kind of slaps in and stuff like that. Anyway, whatever. He's kind of different. He brings something. I don't think anything. They don't bring anything to the table in these bands. I don't think it's any different. You know, maybe I don't know. They call him Bobzilla, so maybe he's does something different than Rex Brown did. I have no idea. But to me, they sounded a lot like Pantera during this whole entire album. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. But anyway, Breathing New Life, great track. One of the tracks you should definitely check out if you check out this album. Track number 3, Newfound Power. And first of all, I did not know how many tracks were on this album. I was thinking like, oh, there's only like 10 tracks on there. Dude, there is like 14 tracks on this album, and I was like, holy shit. Halfway through this thing, listening, I'm like, I gotta listen to 9 more songs. I was like, this is ridiculous. Anyways, Newfound Power was number 3. Deep Riff starts this off, and then the vocals into screaming, but not super screams. Kind of an awkward song, I think, really, but it wasn't bad. It was a decent song. I remember it being a title track, and I think it's actually a good song. It's just I think I've heard it before, and it keep popping up on Spotify sometimes. It's really annoying because like it's like no, I don't want to listen to Damageplan right now. Can you give me something else? It's like every time I'm looking for like Lamb of God or Shadows Fall, that's what comes up, Damageplan, and I'm like, dude, I respect Damageplan, but holy shit, I don't want to listen to him right now. Number 4, Pride. Mono vocals, and after a slow intro, uh, I don't know, not great, but okay. I like the song. Not what I'm looking for in a metal song. Just saying. Number 5, Fuck You. Yeah. No, I'm not saying it to you. That's the name of the song. And it's pretty much what the song in the title, or the name of the title is. He says fuck you like a billion times in the song. F this and F that and F this and F that and then F you and F that and F this. That's pretty much what the whole entire song is. Fast talking, sounds awesome. Like I said, name says it all. It's worth checking out. I mean, it's probably one of the songs in the CD you're like, really? But it worked. It was a good song. It was a decent song. Sounds really good. Number 6, Reborn. Reborn was probably the second great track off this album. Breathing, and I put here Breathing New Life Part 2, definitely, without a doubt. Breathing New Life, Reborn, two of the best tracks on this album. Great riffs, great vocals, went together like peanut butter and jelly. Great. Number 7, Explode. Odd song, put on here, not sure. Not sure if I like it. I don't know. I think it was just kind of one that sounded like average, like it wasn't nothing special. If what I remember about it, I don't know. Number 8, Save Me. Great melody and pre-chorus ballad that rocks. It's a pretty decent song. It's probably the third best album or third best song on the album. Really, really good. Number 9, Cold Blooded. Fast talking. Some, but it's kind of Cold Blooded is a song on there that's kind of it's a good song, but it's kind of like a chill song. Like it's nothing that you would turn on to and say, man, you gotta listen to this Cold Blooded by this band. It's kind of like if you flipped on the album and that song came on, you'd be like, oh yeah, this one's pretty good. And then you kind of talk to your friend like, hey, what was John talking about the other day? And you kind of listen to it in the background while you guys are talking. Like it's one of those songs where you're just kind of chilling, listening to the song. Like, man, that was a pretty good song, man. Kind of what it was. Number 10, Crawl. Heavy song. Just a heavy song. That's it. Nothing special. It didn't blow me out of the water. Just a normal song. Didn't really like it. It was okay. Average. Number 11, Blink of an Eye. Didn't really know about the song. Didn't really remember the song. Weird start of the song, kind of like wind chimes or something. Oh yeah. So it's a weird start, like wind chimes in a tunnel. Like it was a weird kind of start. I don't know what kind of instrument they did use to do that, but it's just odd. Like I don't know what it was, But this song is not bad. It was a really good song too. It's on the list of, I mean, this is pretty much a half and half album, of being, what would you listen to over and over again? Kind of half and half. You probably jump a lot through this album, listen to the songs you like. This is probably an underrated song that I've never heard of. People say, "Hey, have you heard Blink of an Eye by Damageplan?" Never heard anybody say that. But it's a pretty decent song. Not bad at all. I liked it. Number 12, Blunt Force Trauma. Um, when I listened to it, I didn't really like it, and I've heard it before. I know a billion times. Um, listen, just to, if I put Damageplan in the playlist, it would play it. I've heard it before in my playlist before, so that's probably why I didn't like it too much. But I mean, for a Damageplan song, if you never heard this before, you'd probably be impressed. You'd probably be like, "Oh, it's a pretty good song." So it's not bad. Good riffs, slow grind. It's kind of a slow grinding song. Um, Pretty good, not bad. Like I said, I've heard it like a million times because I'm a huge fan of metal. And when Pantera broke up and this band came along, I was for the ride. I was for the ride. I heard it and everything. Number 13, Moment of Truth. This really shows off Lachlan's vocals, but that's pretty much all. Music is pretty basic and bland through the song, but you get to hear Lachlan's vocals and it kind of attaches you to him a little bit. But the problem, like I said, the problem with this is the album really wasn't out too long before Dimebag's death. I think it might have been out 6 months or less before Dimebag, was, taken from us. And if I'm wrong about that, then, whatever. But I mean, even with a year time, it wouldn't be enough to attach Lachlan to a group of followers. And the problem with that is that even after a couple of years, if the band's not going to go forward, you have really got to get a band and get out there like really, really soon. And I think it took him like 4 or 5 years before he even came up with another band. And it's like, no, that's not what you want to do. If something happens, you need to have a backup plan. You know, um, and I'm not saying every band should have, everybody should be in a second band or whatever. But if that happens and you're in a band and you're in the limelight, you're in a major band and a major label, and that label should be going, okay, hold on, let's get some musicians in here, let's create another band. Even if you're going to get a band just to record the album and then look to fill the label or the bandmates out, like just before you go on tour, because you can get a record recorded and released. Even if he did like a solo CD or something, he should have did something to get his name out there. He's a great talent, and I don't know what he's doing now. I did not research. Let me look up that real quick. But Moment of Truth was really good. Soul Bleed was the last song. A great ballad to end the album. I love Soul Bleed. It's really, really good. I don't think I really listened to it too much. Um, but with that being said, I mean, it was really, really good. And Soul Bleed is probably up there in the second or third song favorite on there. Tell me about Pat Lockman in Damageplan. That's not. That's not it. No. Tell me about Pat Lockman in Damage. There we go. There we go. Well, this is a guitarist. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. So he must have. Oh, I think I did read that about him. Okay, he's an American heavy metal vocals and vocals. Okay. I think he was discography. I'm trying to see where he's at now. Okay, so he was in a band called the Mercy Clinic. He was also in a band called Diesel Machine, and he played guitar for Halford before he was in Damageplan. Damageplan was in 2004, and he went on, and I think he played, well, that could have been pre-recorded, but he may have played with Halford a little bit after Damageplan, the thing happened. I don't know if I say anything else down here. About him, biography. Let's kind of go recently here. I'm trying to get down here so I can see what's going on here. Filled in for Killswitch. So 2007, he filled in for Killswitch Engage's guitar 2 times. Oh, and then he was in a band called Burn It All as well. Oh, and then he's working on a Diesel Machine album. I guess he's still working on that. So not really nothing much. Like I said, he's not really doing much. He's kind of kept active in the metal community. So, but that's about it. And that doesn't really help you sometimes. It can, but it doesn't. If you're not doing what you're known for, which is the vocalist of the band, that's kind of a yeah, that's kind of a downer. But yeah, great album. I think it's a decent album. It's not a bad album. I mean, it's an album that I would own, to be quite honest. Um, but I mean, half of it's good. Like, there's 14 songs, and I would say seven of them are about good. Because I mean, we got A Breathing New Life, um, FU, Reborn, Save Me. What was the other one? Blink of an Eye, Blunt Force Trauma, Soul Bleed. So I mean, that's about seven. So about seven songs. I mean, you can add a couple more songs here and there. So I mean, about 50%, about 60% of the CD is pretty decent. But I mean, if you haven't checked out Damageplan's album Newfound Power, go check it out. Let me know what you think about it. Come back and let me know what you think down below. Let me know what you think about. Um, Go to where I was going there. Anyway, let me know what you think about the album. What's your favorite songs on this album? If there's something, maybe you like the song that I said wasn't really a big one of mine. I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. You know what to do. Everybody always says it. I don't need to say it. I'll let all the other people do the job for me. Anyways, keep rocking and keep on listening to music. Later, guys.